We have had no direct negotiations with America so far. Since the last round of negotiations until now, the US demands have been very excessive, unrealistic, and illogical. The meetings that Pakistan has with neighboring countries are, well, a framework they themselves have established. We have not participated in this framework. Can it be allowed that Iran and Iranians be in a position of confronting the illegal aggression of America and the Zionist regime to use the available capabilities on the soil of regional countries while our armed forces remain silent? The duty of every authority demands that it respond to such cases with all its power.
Emergency responders in Haifa assessed the damage on Monday after Iran fired waves of missiles at Israel. The Israeli military said 2 drones from Yemen had also been intercepted, and that Lebanon's Hezbollah had fired rockets at Israel as well. The attacks came as a defiant Tehran called U.S. peace proposals, quote, excessive, unrealistic, and illogical. But White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt on Monday said that despite all of the public posturing, talks with Iran are going well.
President Trump issued a 10-day pause to postpone planned strikes on Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure. This remains a truly once-in-a-generation opportunity for the regime to make a good deal with the United States, permanently abandon their nuclear ambitions, and stop acting as the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism.
Earlier, Trump, in a Truth Social post, warned that Iran's energy plants and oil wells would be obliterated if it did not open the Strait of Hormuz. Leavitt also said that Trump would be interested in calling on Arab countries to pay for the cost of the Iran war.
It's an idea that I know that he has and something that I think you'll hear more from him on.
Iran has fired on Arab Gulf states during the conflict, and war has been reignited between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Israeli military on Monday said it had begun striking Hezbollah infrastructure in Beirut, and an Israeli strike hit a residential building in Beirut's southern suburbs. An industrial building and a fuel tanker at Israel's oil refineries in Haifa was hit by debris from an intercepted missile, according to authorities. Flames and thick smoke were seen billowing from inside the refinery complex. It was not immediately clear where the missile was fired from.
Oil prices were volatile on Tuesday. Investors weighed the possibility of President Donald Trump ending the war against supply shocks from a prolonged closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a major artery for global oil flows. Brent crude futures for May were up over 0.5% in early European trade, in a session that has seen prices swing between a 2% rise and a 1% fall. Analysts said prices had briefly reacted to the idea of the war ending, but any meaningful change would not materialize until shipping through the Strait of Hormuz was completely reinstated. The Wall Street Journal, citing administration officials on Monday, reported Trump told aides he's willing to end the military campaign against Iran, even if the Strait of Hormuz remains largely closed. The US president had warned that the US would obliterate Iran's energy plants and oil wells if Tehran didn't reopen the waterway. Iran's effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz has pushed Brent futures up 59% so far in March. Highlighting the threat to seaborne energy supplies, Kuwait Petroleum Corp on Tuesday said its fully loaded crude oil tanker, capable of carrying up to 2 million barrels, was struck by an alleged Iranian attack at a Dubai port. Officials also warned of potential oil spills in the area.
customers.
Air Canada CEO Michael Rousseau will retire later this year after sparking a backlash when he failed to offer condolences in French for a crash that killed 2 pilots. French is one of Canada's 2 official languages. The faux pas occurred in a video Rousseau released in which he spoke only English after an Air Canada express jet collided with a fire truck on March 22nd at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Days later, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney criticized Rousseau for showing a lack of judgment and compassion. Rousseau later apologized for the lapse in judgment, saying he was deeply saddened that his inability to speak French had diverted attention from the profound grief of the victims' families. Language remains a sensitive issue in mostly French-speaking Quebec, the country's second most populous province, dating back to the rise in the 1970s of the Parti Québécois, a French-Canadian separatist party. The Air Canada express jet had departed from Montreal, and one of the pilots killed was reported to have been from Quebec. Rousseau took over as Air Canada's CEO in February 2021 and helped the airline recover after the pandemic. At the same time, he pledged to improve his French after then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau criticized him for giving a speech almost entirely in English in Montreal, where the airline is headquartered. Air Canada said candidates to replace Rousseau would be judged in part on their ability to speak French.
Paintings worth a reported $10 million in total have been stolen from a museum in northern Italy, police said on Monday, in a heist taking less than 3 minutes. The 3 stolen artworks by French masters Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Paul Cézanne and Henri Matisse were taken from the Fondazione Magnani Rocca near Parma overnight on March 22nd into 23rd. The Carabinieri said thieves broke in through the main entrance and took Cézanne's Tasse Plate de Cerise, Renoir's Les Poissons, and Matisse's Odalisque sur la Terrasse. The museum said the theft took a matter of minutes. Italian public broadcaster Rai said the stolen works were worth more than $10.3 million in total.
Rescuers in Ghana's capital Accra dig through rubble searching for survivors after Sunday's collapse of an unfinished building that was being used as a church. Interior Minister Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak said dozens of people were inside at the time of the accident.
What we can say is that there was a total of 23. Unfortunately, we've lost 3. The 3 that we've lost are a male and 2 females. We are not able to tell names for now. And thank God, 20 are alive in various hospitals.
One witness who works in a hair salon opposite the site described what he saw just before the collapse.
They were preaching when I was about leaving, but after the building collapsed, I couldn't hear anything again. It seems they are inside when the building collapsed. So I called some police, and the police said they will be coming. Then the area guys too were helping to remove the survivors.
Building collapses are a recurrent issue in Ghana. They are often linked to rapid development, weak enforcement of building rules, and the use of unfinished structures. The issue has prompted repeated calls for tighter oversight to prevent such tragedies.
Over these last few years, every day that's gone by, I've felt your prayers and support, your kindness and love. Even in my most difficult times, you were there for me. You've helped me in ways that I can't even describe, and I'm truly so fortunate to have your support. I've missed you so much. And that brings me back to my birthday, actually. So this year, I'm getting the best gift of my life. I'm getting the chance to see you, to perform for you once again in Paris beginning in September this year. I'm so happy. I'm so ready to do this. I'm feeling good. I'm strong. I'm feeling excited. Obviously, of course, a little nervous, but most of all, I am grateful to all of you. I can't wait to see you again. Well, happy birthday to me. I love you all, and I'll see you soon.